So in my last video titled What Matters Most in Sound Quality, the Top 10 Factors, I made a major mistake in my haste. I try to do these videos as often as I can and as quickly as I can because I have little time to do them, though I think they're important. And I forgot one of the most important issues in my mind, and that is mechanical isolation, preventing vibration transmission. And I want to thank ZooTook3422 for commenting and drawing my attention to it the next morning. I cranked this thing out Saturday and posted it Sunday, and anyway, saw that I had made a mistake quickly. So, this point could probably be put into noise control, lumped into noise control number 8. But really, that's more about, both structure-borne and airborne. And this I treat as a separate issue because it really is an important topic that is just about the structure borne and all that goes with that. So I would say that this would become number 10, and we would move to the most important, the most significant physical setup to number 11. So what's it mean as far as mechanical isolation, vibration isolation? Structurally, this is buzzes and rattles and resonances that occur in the structure and or in the playback equipment as a result of. And, many of the components that we're dealing with are very sensitive to vibrations, very small vibrations. Turntables, of course, at the nanometer level, and tubes and tape decks and even capacitors and contacts and so forth are sensitive to small vibrations, let alone big ones like from a subwoofer and from the structure exciting it. For those who know me, they're going to laugh that I forgot about this one. For those who don't, let me give you a quick explanation of how sensitive vibration is to the ear and to as well as to your equipment. So I do this little test with a music box mechanism, and in the air, it's very hard to hear. But as soon as I couple it to my tabletop, it moves the whole tabletop and everything that's on it a few billionths of an inch, but it is moving the air, coupling with the air, and producing about 27 dB of amplification with that tiny amount of energy. So just imagine what a subwoofer does. That's why you can hear a subwoofer structurally at the other end of the house. Lift it up, and you don't hear it anymore because that energy is not getting into the structure. When it does, you're experiencing 4 arrival times. The first being structure-borne, and that is the cabinet exciting the floor, exciting your chair and then bones via bone conduction. So that's the first arrival time. The second arrival time is airborne. That's the one from the loudspeakers to your ear. That's the one that you want. The third one is also airborne. These are reflections that we can control on the surface with diffusion and or absorption. And then the fourth one is back to structure-borne again. And these are the buzzes and rattles and resonances that occur. And in North America, our construction, everything's hard fastened. So the ceiling is hard fastened to the walls are hard fastened to the floor. There's no break in that continuity. When I'm designing a critical listening environment, then we are isolating all of those things. We are isolating the walls from one another, as well as floating the floor and suspending the ceiling, so that we don't get those buzzes, rattles, and resonances. And by the way, the resonances are big. Again, in North America, typical 2x4 construction, a light fist bump between studs and you'll hear 70 hertz. And it sympathizes with any music that you would play that has 70 hertz in it, which would be like any music. And by the way, this time duration between first arrival and the fourth can be a second easily. So you can imagine the fact that it hits all, it interferes with all the sound quality attributes: spatial imaging, timbre, articulation, dynamic range, low-level details. All those things are affected by this smearing, this introduction of buzzes, resonances, and rattles across the time. So very strange that I would forget that, because it is so front of mind, and it's it's one of the big things that for my company that we sell, the equipment vibration protectors. These are placed under equipment to, like, for example, loudspeakers, to prevent the transmission of vibration to get into the structure in the first place. So the other means that we do that are like I mentioned, isolation of the construction materials and methods, and those are things that we do from an acoustical point of view for not only noise control but also sound quality. So, big mistake on my part. I apologize. There's 11 factors regarding what matters most to the sound quality, and isolation, I'd say, is number 10 on that list. I want to finish with a quote. So Ken Scott said in an interview in Mix magazine with Bobby Osinski, who co-authored Ken's book, Abbey Road to Ziggy Stardust. Ken says, quote, I think too much importance is put on the gear, basically, unquote. He's referring to today's abuse and reliance of technology over talent, essentially, song and performance in the recording industry. But it also applies to gear in the playback industry. Consumers rely too much on the equipment for the performance, and as I've stated many times, the equipment cannot overcome the acoustics. That is so important. That is probably the most important lesson to learn for any audiophile. If you would like to learn how to optimize your system, book a call with me at avroomservice.com. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and if you would like to see more, click here or here. And don't forget to go to avroomservice.com to see how we can help you make the most of your listening experience.